Get those Cybermen out.
Welcome back to the Cybermen, guys. Today we're going to talk about promos, the new ones that were just revealed, and promos in general. So, first of all, before we do that though, I just want to mention something that's really important to me. Probably a lot of you don't know this, but in Burma, Myanmar right now, the military has taken over the country and they are restricting the citizens, they're killing the citizens, raping the citizens. The democracy is falling apart, and I have family there, and it's really important to me that everybody knows about this. I want you to all read about it. I put the links in the description below for the campaign that myself and my wife and our family are running to try and fundraise for the democracy protesters, people who are fighting for democracy in their country. Here's the logo. I stand with Myanmar. Please take a look. Anyway, let's get down to business. All right, so let's look at the promos here. So what I want to talk about first is the difference between the sheer number of promos that we see now versus, a few sets ago. I'm not going to go back all the way to the start because obviously the game has changed a lot since then. There are a lot more players. There are a lot more archetypes. It makes sense for there to be more promos. But here's Tournament Pack 8, for example, from Malicious Machinations. There were 8 pack cards in the Tournament Pack. This, I think, is a good number. 8 cards, in order to get a playset, let's just say you're not buying any, you need to go to a bunch of events to get that. If you were lucky enough to pull them, and then you can trade with people, or you can buy them. But 8 is a good number. It's not like you're only going to get one of each. If you want to play them, you might want to get a playset in general. And if you look at this tournament pack as well, it is not really overpowered. There are cards in here that you could use in decks, other than obviously Turles. That was a ridiculous card, or Turles, or whatever you call it. That was so strong. It was banned. But still, it's only one card from this pack that is really, really powerful. You can get all these cards, no issue. I have playsets of all of them, and it didn't get stale either. So that was my other worry, that it would get stale if you don't have enough promos. But I never really saw that. Jump forward to last set, or this current set, and we have 18 promos. That's insane. It's like 3 for each color, if not more. Crazy. From 8, you're getting 10 extra promos. This is only 4 sets later. It's not like it's, a huge number of sets. Like, the game's completely different. I mean, set 8 to set 12, a lot has changed, but the amount of promos in here, especially things like, if you look at the Veku, that even now is unplayable. I don't know if they're bringing something out that you can play that with, but it's unplayable. It's ridiculous. And half of these cards aren't needed. They're printing cards now that should just be in the main set. Case in point, with this new set of promos, there's a Raditz BR card that is mentioned on the leader, or the field card, I can't recall, of King Vegeta. So it is required almost for the deck. So if you look at things like this, Piccolo Jr. was required for the deck. King Piccolo, the launch, Tapion here. You could put some of these in the main set. So the problem we have here is the most expensive of these, which were Tapion and King Saiyan, I believe, become extremely hard to get. I still don't have either of these. I haven't pulled one. I've been to, countless tournaments, and I've just been unlucky and haven't pulled one. The only thing is, I'm not playing those archetypes, so I'm not buying them, which is fine. You can buy them, but the fact that you have to spend $80, on these, they're dropping now. But when they came out, if you wanted to play these archetypes, they were so expensive. Now, the archetypes are stale or old, and the new set's coming out, so people are not thinking about this as much. They're still unbelievable cards, don't get me wrong, but it just means when they're hot stuff, you have to pay top dollar for them, and I don't think I agree with that, really. I'm fine with... I love collecting, and I'm happy for things like SPRs and SCRs and whatever else to become like worth buying and to hold value. But things like promos that you need for a deck and they just come out and they're expensive, it just seems unnecessary. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. I'll just go through the other ones. For the last couple of sets, we've seen the same issue. So, Super Saiyan 2 Trunks Heroic Prospect. This card, again, I've got none of these. I've got no Trunkses. I didn't pull a single one in the normal tournament packs during that tournament time. And I did get 2 winner ones, to be fair. But I didn't get, just the fact that I didn't get a single Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. I played in so many tournaments. I traded with people. I just didn't get a single one. And then they're still insanely expensive. Again, I'm lucky that I don't really play blue very often, so it's not that detrimental to me, to my game in general. If I did, I would buy them. I would pay that for them, and if I needed them. But the fact that you have to just seems dumb for a staple. We're looking Broly Astonishing Potential. Personally, I don't think this card should exist because I think Broly BR had the swap and you can only use it once per turn with the set 1-drop. But regardless of that, this card is a staple in that deck and it cost $80, I think, Australian, or more, $100 for one, and you need 4 or 3 or whatever it is. Just crazy. And it's fair enough if it was one of 8, like the Malicious Machinations pack, but this is one of 18, one of nearly 20 cards that you may get. And I never pulled one of these. I feel like I have really bad luck with tournament packs, but few and far. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. I didn't play this archetype. I'm lucky to have been dodging all the expensive promos because I'm not using them. But it's still annoying. Even for ones that I do want to use, it's hard to find them at the start because there's so many. You can usually only find one here or there. Now, let's look at the new promos and talk about why, again, I think this was a bad idea. Just, it feels to me the same way you feel when you buy an Xbox or a PlayStation game or a PC game, whatever, and then a month later they release all this DLC, expansions and stuff, and you feel like, why wasn't that included in the original game? Like, they clearly had this already built when they released the game. Why wasn't it just included in the original game? Why don't they finish the game and then release extra content later? Which is what used to happen with video games. You used to get the full game and then the teams, the developers would work on new content and release it once it was done. So it's a pretty similar situation here where perfect example is the Raditz Young Invader. Like I said before, this guy is made for King Vegeta BR, the leader, and the King Vegeta leader mentions this card, mentions Raditz BR, but there isn't one in the main set. So the fact that they are saying this is part of the deck, but you can't get it unless you happen to pull it at a tournament or spend money on it. This deck is going to be one of the popular decks this set, I think. And the fact that there are 3 promos for this deck. So you got Raditz Young Invader, you got Super Saiyan Son Goku switching gears here, and then you got Super Saiyan Vegeta switching gears. Beautiful cards, by the way, these two. The fact that they are promos for the deck that you kind of need to have just means that deck's not going to be playable when it first comes out, unless you're doing something shonky and you have it in with a store owner and you can get a kit, or if you're spending heaps of money. Which, again, each to their own. I feel like you shouldn't have to spend heaps of money at the start to play a deck. But, let me know if you disagree. Chain Attack Bardock is another card. This one's for the Bardock deck, the new red Bardock deck. This one's good. It's a good card, but this is the kind of promo I think you should be having. It's not absolutely crucial for the deck, but when you play him, he's got Bond 3, he gains 11,000 power, so it becomes a 15k Obviously, the leader makes him a 3 cost. When this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 4,000 power for the turn for each red Saiyan and or Bardock crew in your battle area. So you do play a lot of 1-drops in this because they become 3-drops. So you can have a lot of Saiyans out. You can start negging things, which is really cool. Raditz, we'll go through what they do now. When this card is played, if your life is at 5 or more and your opponent's leader card is a red King Vegeta BR, place 1 card from your life in the drop area and draw 1 card. So you're obviously playing this on your opponent's battle area. So it's a burn 1 life. There's another one that does that as well. So you can burn 2 life with 2 different cards in this. But just the fact that that has such a strong effect, they could have used the Goku, which the effect isn't as strong as the promo. So it's extra support, but it's not the best card. So it doesn't matter too much if you don't have it. It will just make your deck a bit better. But this is like really good. The same with these Goku and Vegeta. These guys both play if you bottom deck 1 Raditz or Goku from your opponent's battle area. And this guy lets you neg one of your opponent's battle cards by 10k. He's a 10k beater. And this guy is the same one, but if it's a Raditz and a Vegeta card. And then when he's played, you drop bottom deck 1, draw 2. So this is probably the better one of the 2, in my opinion. Depending on what you need to do, this is good for removal because it's free, obviously. Now we have Pincer Attack Android 18. This is a blue Android 18 support card, which I find very strange. Interesting because someone was just playing this at our locals the other day, the mill version. If your leader card is a blue Android 18 and you choose one of your opponent's clone tokens and remove it from the game, when this card is used in a combo from your hand, add up to 1 Supreme Technique Krillin from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So that's one of the older clone token cards. Then it has an auto that you can tap 1 energy to also play this card after comboing. Pretty cool. I don't really play that deck, so I don't know exactly what that's trying to achieve. His support for PyCon, kind of, is a unique blocker, Gogeta Effortless Strike. It's really cool, I think, because the Gogeta chain is so easy to remove. When the Gogeta chain is removed, so your 5-drop or your 8-drop, then you can play this from your hand for free, and it lets you restart the chain because you can evolve on top of it. It's only a 15k, which is not amazing. You can also play him for 1 if you do the whole Goku and Vegeta and put them in your deck, which is cool because that helps you recycle rather than bursting. Bojack, Rampaging Agent of Destruction. So heaps of people are talking about this one. Another card that for the Bojack deck is cool because you can play it using the leader. When he's in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than or equal to their current energy can't attack leader card. So you can also play this in the Agent of Destruction deck. When you combo with it, you can tap 1 to play it in rest mode. And when he's KO'd, you draw a card. It's essentially like stopping 1 attack and drawing a card. I don't think it's that good. People are talking about it on Facebook already like it's really cool floodgate card. It's cool against Dark Broly. But I don't think they realize that, against Dark Broly, your opponent either uses the SR to warp it or they just attack it with a 30k and it's gone. Like, yes, it stops 1 attack potentially, but it's not that crazy. I guess you're drawing 1 card. Remains to be seen how popular it is. I feel like this will be one of the more expensive ones when it comes out just because of the hype, but I don't buy into that. Chilled the Assailant. I'm really interested in the Chilled deck. I think that's the deck I'll probably try and play next set. When this card is played, play 2 Chilled's army tokens with 10,000 power. He's got Deflect. You can tap 2 to discard him from your hand to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost equal or less than the number of cards in their hand, and ignoring barrier and KO it. So 2 energy for barrier removal. Depending on how many cards your opponents have in their hands, you can remove a big threat with this. Choose up to 2 of your Chilled's army tokens and they gain plus 5,000 power for the turn. 3 energy for 3 battle cards, 1 20k and 2 10ks, and then you make those 2 10ks 15. It's not bad. But again, this is one of those cards that I don't think is broken. It is just good. It's really good to the deck. It's not a card that you absolutely need to play the deck, and that's what I like. Tells leading the corpse. This is a guy that just helps you bring that Tells deck to the next level. This is obviously more for the traditional Tells deck. It's a unique EX evolve on a Tells with an energy cost of 3 or less, so you can attack with your 1-drop Tells, for example, play this for free. When this card is played, you switch it to active mode and you can grab a Fruit of the Tree of Might from your deck and add it to your hand. So the cool thing is you can attack with something, play this, and then restand it and get the fruit ready to go for game or to go for a double strike with this card. If it's your opponent's turn, when one of your green Crusher Corps is played in rest mode, choose that card and switch it to active mode. So you're able to get extra combo out of your 3k combos. It makes sense because those cards are very annoying, having 3k rather than 5k, so you're able to play them. The blocker already comes in active mode, so I guess it's just to try and give you more combo power and protect those battle cards. But that's a really nice utility. And this is what I'm talking about. So this is like the old style DLC, where the deck has been out, or the game has been out for a while, and they are still working on more content for their patrons, for the people who bought the game. So they bring it out down the line once they've finished it. This is like that, because this deck has been out already, and now they're adding more support later, which we do see a lot with, you know, the Android 18 that I spoke about earlier. We see a lot in these promo packs as well, but it's just, this is the kind of promos I want to see. Cards that make old decks better, not cards that are essential for new decks when they first come out. The last promo pack revealed today, the last promo card revealed today is Chilai Behind the Scenes Heroine. They haven't revealed yellow and black yet, so there's more to come. I'd say they'll probably be around 18 again. This is a 1-drop. When it's played from your hand, draw 1 card, and if your leader card is a heroine, negate this card's skill for the game. So when I first saw that, I was like, why the hell do you want to negate this card's order? Like, who cares? But it makes sense. First of all, when you play this card, usually in the heroine deck, you draw 2 because your leader draws 1. If it's the first card you play of the turn, your leader draws 1, then this draws 1, and then you negate the skill. It's now a 1-drop green skillless card. You can use the Videl from the draft box to pick that up and play the Videl. So it's really cool. Cycling a cantrip as well, very nice, and I really like it. I think this is a great card, and we need to see more of this. Again, this is support for an older deck, even though the deck only came out in America. It's not out yet, but in Australia it came out a few weeks ago. That deck doesn't do anything right now, so it does need more support. That's really cool. I think it's also good in OG Set 1 Freezer, Lemon Lime Freezer. Play it, draw a card, and then KO it to untap and draw. Very cool. I don't know. Again, guys, I just wanted to make this to talk about promos. We need to talk about promos. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if Bandai are like, more players, more decks, let's make more promos. I don't mind this, but I feel like if they're doing that, I would love it if they're giving more promos out. So instead of a kit having enough promos for, 4 tournaments of 8 people or whatever it is, maybe two TPs per tournament on average. I know some stores do that, but where I am, it's only 1 per person, which is what they're supposed to do, which is fine. But if you maybe giving more tournament packs out, I don't know what the solution is. But let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and I will be back tomorrow or the next day with a best of 1 battle. Thanks, guys.